Alright, so I'm going to skip this slide, okay, because this is going to be covered at the end of this, at the end of chapter 8 actually. Okay, so I'm going to skip this one. Okay, we are going to look at this overall summary of market structures at the end of topic 8. Okay, so I'm going to proceed with the first market structure, which is on perfect competition. Okay, so perfect competition. Okay, this is actually the characteristics that I have already briefed in the previous slide just now. Okay, so a perfect competition is a market structure where there are large number of buyers and sellers. Okay, the main important thing is the number of sellers. Okay, you have a lot of number of sellers. Okay, and these sellers are price takers. Okay, they only accept the price that has been set in the market. Okay, if let's say the price of apples, like I have shown you, okay, the example I have shown you just now, RM 8 ringgit per kg of apple, meaning every sellers in the market must sell at the same price, which is RM 8 ringgit per kg. Okay, for the apple. Okay, so a lot of number of sellers, and the sellers are price takers. Okay, they are selling homogeneous or standardized product. Okay, and buyers cannot differentiate the products that they sell because they are basically selling the same products. Okay, seller A, seller B, and seller C, and the other sellers in the market are selling the same type of product. Okay, so meaning consumers can choose to either buy from seller A or seller B or seller C. Okay, and they will get basically the same product. Free entry and exit into the market is easy for other firms or other sellers to enter the market to sell the same products in the market. Okay, the role of non-price competition is insignificant. We have two types of competition in any market. We have price competition and we have non-price competition. Okay, price competition is when, let's say for example, we have seller A and seller B. Seller A sells at RM 12 and seller B sells at RM 10. Of course, consumers will purchase products from seller B because seller B is able to sell the same product at a lower price. That is what we call as price competition. Non-price competition is any other types of competition other than price factor. For example, advertisement. Okay, advertisement. Or you can sell a product with a different quality, or you can also compete in terms of after sales service. Okay, let's say if you sell cars, okay, you can offer different types of or you can compete with other car sellers in terms of services. Maybe you can give free labor charge for services, okay, when you purchase cars, for example. Okay, that is what we call as after sales service or warranty. Okay, warranty is an example of after sales service. If your product has warranty, usually consumers will like your product more as compared to the other products from other sellers. Okay, so what we mean here, role of non-price competition is insignificant. Okay, because they are basically selling the same product and consumers cannot differentiate. Let's say for example, selling apples. Okay, meaning apple from seller A, seller B, and seller C are basically the same. So it is a waste of money if they compete in terms of advertisement, and they cannot also compete in terms of quality because basically they get the same quality for the product. Okay, and usually there is no after sales service for perfect competition market. Okay, so it's no use for them to advertise their product. Okay, because consumers cannot basically differentiate their product unless if you are selling products with different types, like if you are in monopolistic competition, you have different brand, you have different quality and so on. So that is where non-price competition plays a bigger role. Okay, but in this case, in this perfect competition market, non-price competition is not going to work. Okay, alright, and then next, perfect knowledge of the market, meaning all sellers and buyers in the perfect competition market will have perfect knowledge of the market, meaning, for example, sellers, they know the price of the product that is sold by the other sellers. Let's say the price of apple just now. Seller A knows that seller B and seller C will sell their apple at the same price, which is RM 8 ringgit per kg. Okay, so that is what we mean by perfect knowledge, or having enough information about the market price and so on. Okay, and then mobility of factors of production, meaning it's easy for the factors of production to move from one production, from one seller to the other seller. For example, in terms of labor, okay, let's say in the beginning you want to work with, let's say if you are a labor, and in the beginning you work with seller A, but now you can easily move from seller A to seller B. Okay, there is no permit required. Okay, there is no restriction, okay, in terms of salary and so on. Okay, there is no need for you to submit any resume, because in perfect competition market, the sellers are usually small sellers. Okay, they are usually small enterprises or small businesses. Okay, usually in order for you to work with these sellers, you don't actually require to submit any resume and so on. You can basically work freely with them. So it's easy for you to move from one seller to another seller. Okay, and there is absence of transportation cost. Okay, because usually, okay, these sellers or firms in perfect competition market, they will usually be located at the same marketplace or same area. Let's say in one marketplace, satu pasar, satu kawasan pasar, you have different sellers, okay, basically selling the same products. Okay, so the suppliers will supply the products, or let's say supply the vegetables to different sellers, okay, at the same place. Okay, so there is minimum, or there is no transportation cost, high transportation cost involved in this perfect competition market. Okay, alright, so now I'm going to show you how the market price is set in perfect competition market. So in this slide here, you have the market demand and market supply curve. Okay, on the left side of your slide here, okay, the left graph here, okay, you have the market supply and demand. Okay, and this right side here, you have the price, okay, that is set individually by individual firm. Okay, so you have here the price, the market demand and the market supply curve, and at the intersection, as what you have learned from topic 3 on the market equilibrium. So this is what we call as market equilibrium, okay, depending on the market demand and market supply. So this is the point where you will get the equilibrium price as well as equilibrium quantity. Okay, so the equilibrium price here is set at RM 10 ringgit. So RM 10 ringgit is considered as the price that is at the good level, okay, for that particular type of product, okay, at this or in this perfect competition market. So what does it mean here is that all the sellers in the market, okay, all the individual firms in the market must sell this product at RM 10 ringgit. So if you look at the individual firm, okay, the graph for individual firm here, you can see that the price is set at RM 10 ringgit regardless of the quantity of the product, whether you sell at 10 units, 20 units or 30 units, the price will be fixed at RM 10 ringgit, because firms in the perfect competition market are price takers. Okay, let's look at how firms in the perfect competition market maximize their profit. So this is basically the same with what I have explained at the earlier slide of this topic. Okay, which we are going to use the two approaches, which are total revenue approach and total cost approach, and the other one is marginal approach. Okay, so total approach is where you are going to compare or find the difference between total revenue and total cost to get the maximum profit. So what you are given in this table, okay, in this slide, you have different level of quantity. You have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until 7 units of product, and for every level or for every quantity of products sold, okay, you will get different level of total revenue and total cost. So to calculate the profit or loss is total revenue, you minus with total cost, okay, TR minus TC, so you get the profit, total revenue minus total cost. So your objective as a firm is to maximize your profit, meaning you are going to find the value, the biggest value for total revenue minus total cost. So if you look at this graph, this table here, the first one you will get loss, negative 60, negative 40, negative 10. So these are losses. And then when you produce 3 or when you sell 3 units of the product, your total revenue will be bigger than your total cost. This is where your total cost is bigger than your total revenue. This is where your total revenue is bigger than your total cost. Okay, so the highest profit that you will get is 10 ringgit here. Okay, which is 300 minus 290, 400 minus 390, which means you produce or you sell the products at either 3 units or 4 units. Then you will get the highest profit. So we are going to take the highest unit. The more you produce, the better, or the more you sell, the better. Okay, when you produce 5 to 7 units, you will get losses again, which is total cost is more than the total revenue. You get negative, meaning loss lah. Okay, so this is where you get losses just now from the first stage, and then you get profit, and then you get losses again. Okay, so to show the figure of maximum profit here, okay, let me highlight on the level of maximum profit in this table, which is this one. Okay, so at this point you can see that the production, the quantity is 4 units as shown on the graph here. Quantity is 4. The total revenue is 400, so you put here, this is total revenue is 400, and the total cost is 390. So 390. So the gap between total revenue and total cost here is actually 10 ringgit. Okay, so that is your profit, and that is where you maximize your profit, meaning you have to sell 4 units of product and then you will get profit of 10 ringgit. That is using total approach. And if you use marginal approach, okay, for marginal approach, the condition is MR must equal to MC. Okay, so if you look at this table, okay, you are required to calculate the revenue, the marginal revenue, as well as the marginal cost, so that you can plot the graph for marginal revenue and marginal cost on the graph. Okay, so now you have marginal cost and marginal revenue. Okay, so if you look at this table, you have different level of quantity, and then your marginal revenue is the same because you are in perfect competition market. Okay, and then you have your marginal cost here. Okay, so you notice that your marginal revenue and marginal cost is equal when you produce 4 units of the product, or when you sell 4 units of the product. Okay, so you see marginal revenue here equals to your marginal cost at 100 ringgit. So this is the point where marginal revenue equals to marginal cost, or you basically maximize your profit at this point. Okay, So marginal revenue and marginal cost equals to 100. Okay, so that is how you decide on profit maximization for perfect competition using marginal approach. Alright, so all the firms from all market structures, including perfect competition, monopoly competition, as well as oligopoly, they can earn different types of profit in the short run. So let me list down the types of profit here. Okay, types of profit. Okay, so we have the first one is supernormal profit. And then we have normal profit, and we also have subnormal profit. Okay, so what do we mean by supernormal profit? It is basically when you earn economic profit, and you earn supernormal profit or economic profit when your total revenue is bigger than your total cost. Okay, when your revenue is higher than your total cost. So you basically earn profit. Normal profit, or the other term for it is break even. This is where your total revenue equals to your total cost. If your total revenue is 100, your total cost is also 100. So dia macam balik modal lah. Okay, break even. And then you also have subnormal profit, where you basically earn economic loss. So the other term for subnormal profit is economic loss. So this is the condition where the firm's total cost, okay, the firm's total cost is higher than the firm's total revenue. Okay, cost dia lagi tinggi daripada dia punya revenue. Okay, so now I'm going to show you or I'm going to illustrate, okay, how the firms in perfect competition market earns supernormal profit, normal profit, and also subnormal profit. Okay, so let's look at the first slide here. Okay, so in this slide you have the graph which shows the the marginal cost. Okay, you have the marginal cost, and then the average total cost, and also the marginal revenue, average revenue, which is also equals to price. So you have three curves here that you can use to indicate whether the firm is making profit, break even, or loss. Okay, so I'm going to begin with supernormal profit or economic profit, which can be earned when the total revenue is higher than the total cost. Okay, so I have the y and x-axis here. So let me label the x-axis. Okay, so the x-axis is the quantity, and then the y-axis indicates the price of the product, which is in RM, for example. This one is in units. Okay, so what you have in the graph is basically the marginal cost, and then the average total cost, and the marginal revenue and average revenue. Okay, so now what you need to do is you draw the marginal revenue, average revenue, and price curve first. So you have the straight line here, the horizontal line. Okay, so I put it in yellow. Okay, so this is your marginal revenue and average revenue curve. Okay, so label as MR equals to AR equals to price. So this is the price. Let's say the price is 20 ringgit. Okay, and then next is for you to draw the average total cost curve. And for you to get the supernormal profit or economic profit, when you draw the average total cost curve, the minimum average total cost curve must be below the average revenue and marginal revenue curve. Okay, so this one, let me take the blue color. Okay, so now when you draw the average total cost, let's say this is your average total cost curve. Okay, so you notice at the bottom or the minimum point, which is here, the minimum point for ATC is below the average revenue curve, below the yellow line here. Okay, so now, okay, next is for you to draw the marginal cost curve. So what like what you have learned in the previous topic, okay, your marginal cost curve must intersect the minimum ATC. So you draw it somewhere here, your marginal cost. Okay, so label as MC. Okay, so now you have the marginal cost, the average total cost, and the average revenue cost. So that's why it's important that you do your assignment where I ask you to try and sketch the average total cost, the marginal cost, average variable cost, average fixed cost curve, so that you are familiar with how to really situate or locate the curve, okay, for each of the costs. So now you have the MC and ATC and marginal revenue, average revenue. Next is for you to find the equilibrium point or the profit maximizing point. So like what I have explained in the beginning of this chapter, okay, to get profit maximization, you have two methods, two approaches, which are total approach and marginal approach. So if you are looking at the marginal approach, the condition is MR must equal to MC. This is the profit maximizing condition, okay, the equilibrium point. So now what you need to do next is you find the profit maximizing point in this graph. So MC equals to MR or MR equals to MC is here. Sorry, here. This is MR equals to MC. So what you do, okay, let me label this MR equals to MC. So what you need to do is from this point you drag it downward so that you get the equilibrium quantity. I put it as QE. Equilibrium quantity, which is 9, and since you have the average revenue here, okay, so that is your equilibrium price, which is 20. Okay, and then now if you notice, now that you have the price and you have the quantity, so that is where you basically get the total revenue. So to calculate your total revenue in this case is 20, you multiply with 9. So what you get is RM 180. Basically the shaded area here. Okay, let me show you the shaded area for your total revenue. Or maybe I just do the coloring. Okay, so this is your area of total revenue. Okay, next is for you to find the total cost. Okay, so the total cost, okay, for you to find the total cost is you from the equilibrium point here, okay, from MR equals to MC, you drag downward until you touch the average total cost. So from here to here, okay, so you have the average total cost here, and then you drag to the left, so you get the total cost, the average total cost. Average total cost means the cost for the cost of producing 1 unit of product. So now you have the area for total revenue, total cost. Okay, so let me draw the total cost area, which is here. Let me shade it here. The green area here is the area of your total cost. Okay, so your total cost is 50. You multiply with the quantity. Cost multiply with the unit of the product. Okay, so what you get here is RM 135. Okay, RM 135. So now, how do you know whether you get profit or loss? Is you have to use the formula to calculate profit or loss, which is total revenue minus total cost. So in this case, your total revenue is 180, your total cost is 135. So you minus 180 and 135. What you get is RM 45. So where is this RM45? Your RM45 here is your profit because you get positive. Okay, so where is this RM45? Is here. This area right here is basically your profit of RM45 ringgit. Okay, your profit RM45. Okay, so another way to calculate your profit is actually 20 minus 15. You multiply with 9. You will also get RM45. Alright? So you can actually see here that the condition to get supernormal profit or economic profit is total revenue must be more than total cost, and your total revenue here is more than your total cost. Therefore, you will get the economic profit or supernormal profit. Okay, next is for us to see how the firms in a perfect competition market gets break-even or normal profit. Meaning the firms are not making losses and they are also not making profit. So what they get is basically their total revenue is the same as their total cost. Okay, so how do we illustrate total revenue equals to total cost on the graph? Okay, now you have the price on the y-axis and the quantity as usual in units. Okay, and then okay, you draw the okay, and then you draw the average revenue and marginal revenue curve. Okay, which is the same. You have the horizontal curve. So you label this as MR equals to AR equals to price, which is RM20. Okay, and then you draw the average total cost curve. So the average total cost, okay, just now for you to get profit, your average total cost, the minimum average total cost must be below the marginal revenue and average revenue. So in this case, to get break even, your minimum ATC must touch the average revenue curve. Okay, touch here. Okay, so that is the minimum average total cost. And then you draw another curve which is the marginal cost, and marginal cost must intersect at minimum ATC. Dia mesti lalu dekat sini. Okay, minimum ATC. Okay, so now let us look at how we can get the break even. Okay, so in this case, you find MR, again you find the equilibrium, which is MR equals to MC. Okay, so where is MR equals to MC? That is here. Okay, MR equals to MC. This is the intersection point lah. Okay, so now you drag from this point, you drag downward. What you get here is the equilibrium quantity, which is 9, and this is the equilibrium price, which is 20. So how do you find the total revenue? Okay, total revenue is this area. Okay, so total revenue is price times quantity, which is 20 times 9. Okay, so you get RM 180. And then you find total cost. Okay, total cost, which is also 20 times 9, because this point here touches the minimum ATC. Okay, so that's why that is considered as the cost, the average total cost. So basically, the area of total revenue is here. This is your total revenue. This is also where your total cost is. Okay, which is also RM 180. So what you get here is your total revenue is the same as your total cost. So when you minus, what you get is 0. You don't get profit and you don't make losses. So that is where you get break even. Okay, the firms in the perfect competition market get break even. Okay, now we want to determine how these firms in perfect competition market makes economic losses, or what we call as subnormal profit. So I already have the marginal revenue, average revenue and price curve, which is the yellow curve here, the yellow line here, okay, which is the same for profit, break even and losses. Okay, now what you the thing that is different here is the position of your average total cost. If the firm is making profit, the minimum average total cost must be below the average revenue or below the price. For break even, the minimum ATC must touch the average revenue. But for economic losses or subnormal profit, when you draw the ATC curve, the ATC, the minimum ATC must be above the average revenue and marginal revenue curve. So let's say you draw it here and then you label it as ATC. Okay, so you see the minimum is above the yellow curve here, the marginal revenue and average revenue curve. Okay, now you draw the marginal cost curve. Okay, the marginal cost which must touch the minimum ATC. Okay, now again back to the condition, the profit maximizing condition, which is MR must equal to MC. So find the point where MR equals to MC, which is here. This is where MR equals to MC. So what you need to do here is you draw this, from this point you drag it downward. Okay, so you get the equilibrium quantity, which is 9, and then you get the, this is QE, and then you get the equilibrium price, which is 20. Okay, now from this point, okay, that is your total revenue actually. Okay, so you have your total revenue here. This shaded area here is your total revenue, which is 20 times 9. So you get RM 180. Okay, next is for you to find the total cost. So to find total cost is from this point, you drag it upward until you touch ATC. And then you drag it to the left, bawa ke kiri, and then you have the cost. Okay, the cost, the average total cost. Let's say I put it as 30. Okay, so now you have the average total cost 30. So to find the total cost is, okay, the total cost is the green area. Let's say I calculate it first. Okay, 30 times 9. So 30 times 9 is RM 270. Okay, so where is the area of total cost in this graph? It is this area. Okay, so you can see that the green area is bigger than the red area, meaning your total cost is bigger than your total revenue. So when you minus total revenue minus total cost, okay, which is 180 minus 270, what you get is negative 90. Okay, negative 90, meaning you get loss of RM 90 ringgit. Okay, so where is this loss? The loss is shown in this area here. Okay, this area from here to here. Okay, this is the area of loss. Okay, so that is how the firms in perfect competition market is making losses when ATC is higher than the price. Or you can also use another method to calculate the loss, which is 30. Okay, 30, let me take this one. Okay, 30 minus 20, you get 10, and then you multiply with 9. So you get this area here, which is 90, RM 90 ringgit of loss. Alright? Okay, next is where we want to know Okay, what is the point where the firms, okay, in perfect competition market should continue with the production, or should they shut down the production? Okay, so how do we determine the shutdown point or the shutdown price? Okay, so we can see from this slide here. Okay, so previously kita dah tengok, we have looked at how a firm is making losses. Okay, so loss is made when your ATC is above your average revenue, and that is where your MC intersects with your ATC. Okay, so you get losses, in this case, you get losses in this area. This is where you get losses. Okay, your area of loss. Okay, so let's say this is 7 ringgit, your cost, and this is your price. Okay, price, and this is your average total cost. Okay, so now, okay, we will decide on how a firm makes decision on whether to shut down the business or not. Okay, they have to look at when the price is lower than the minimum AVC, average variable cost. So let's say if I draw an average variable cost curve. Average variable cost curve is here. For example, your average variable cost. So from the previous topic, we have learned that the difference between average total cost and average variable cost is basically the total cost. Okay, the average total cost. Okay, ETC minus AVC, you get AFC. So what you get here, okay, the area here from here to here is actually the area of total fixed cost. Okay, this is where you get your total fixed cost, which is the same as your losses. This is the area, okay, this is the area where your total fixed cost is the same as your losses. Okay, so at this point you can still continue with the production. But what happens if the average revenue or the price of the product is below 5 ringgit? That is below the shutdown point, which is 5 ringgit just now. Okay, what will happen is the losses, okay, let me put it as price. So when the price is below than the shutdown point, which is 5 ringgit, okay, price is lower than RM 5 ringgit, what will happen is losses that the firm is making will be more than the total fixed cost. Okay, so if losses is more than the total fixed cost, what the firm should do is the firm should shut down. Okay, so basically RM 5 ringgit here is the shutdown point, and if the price goes below RM 5 ringgit, then the firm should shut down the production. Alright,